Hello, happy Friday, good morning. It is me, Dan Schiffman, live with the coding train, and today is a special day. This background music is really playing kind of loud, but I kind of timed it so I started when there's only 10 seconds left in this song. So as everyone's kind of entering into this live stream, I'll just wait. So today's a little bit different than my usual Fridays for a couple reasons. One is, let me just say on the outset that I have kind of a complicated schedule today, yet I will be in this building for the whole day until at least 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 5 hours. Whoa, that's like 6.5 hours from now or something like that. But I do have all these like little appointments, some of them for like 15 minutes, some of them for an hour. So what I'm planning to do is kind of live stream. I'll be like, oh, wait, I have to go, pause, stop, I'm gonna leave, I'll come back and turn it on again, to blah, 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 pause, stop, leave, come back again. So there's gonna be probably a bunch of stopping and starting today. Ideally, it'll just be a session now for an hour or so, stop, take a break, come back, and then another couple hours. But we'll see, I might have to stop and start at a moment's notice because I'm waiting for an important, trying to schedule this important phone call that I have to deal with. So I'm even more absurdly like kind of keeping an eye on my phone during the live stream today, which is probably in some universe very unprofessional. But this is by no means a professional operation. Nothing about this whatsoever is professional, as evidenced by the fact that that camera will soon turn off and I have to walk over there and press a button. But I also feel okay with doing this. Maybe I'm just trying to convince myself here because really my goal for the live streams is to just sort of expose the process of creating the tutorials. But if you're really here to consume what might possibly be somewhat educational content, I would certainly just wait for the edited videos that will come over the weekend or next week. Okay, so I am not seeing anyone complain about sound or video or image. Now that was one reason why today is a little bit different. Here's another reason why today is different. I am doing a sponsored tutorial, and the sponsor of this tutorial is a company called CircleCI. CircleCI is a company that provides continuous integration as a service. Notice I'm not going to drink any water today because I don't want our sponsors to compete with each other, water and CircleCI. This I just have some nice, I'm also getting a cold, which is not good. Because I really have a lot of content I want to do today, but as many of you might remember, well, first of all, I'm very accident prone, as evidenced by my completely, now mostly healed, broken arm in multiple places. Actually, multiple broken arms. Anyway, that's another story. But I am, in addition to being accident prone, I'm very prone to the losing of the voice. So I have to, when I get a cold, this happened to me last year, it was very extreme. I couldn't talk for like 2 or 3 weeks because I overdid it. Teaching and talking and presenting. So we'll see. I think I'm fine for today, but if things start to go in terms of the vocal cords, I might have to take some nice breaks and drink some more ginger tea. All right. So here's the thing. This is kind of interesting because I am not somebody who knows very much at all or has experience with continuous integration or unit testing, which is a part of this discussion. So my intention is to make a few tutorials. One is to talk about my sense of unit testing and continuous integration, what it is and why it's useful, and look at a really simple kind of hello world example of a JavaScript program with unit testing and continuous integration using CircleCI. So there's going to be a lot of Node and GitHub and JavaScript as part of this as well. Then I want to see if I can add some unit testing and continuous integration to the little matrix library that I've been working on for the neural network tutorials. And then I might try to just do a little fun extra bit to see what other kinds of goofy things, whatever strange little things we can get up to by having a separate process run on a separate server every time we try to merge or commit or our code, that sort of thing. So that's the plan. I really apologize because there's a small chance at any moment I'm just going to have to run for like 15 or 20 minutes and come back. And the stream, I could leave it on, but I don't think that makes sense. I'll probably turn it off and restart it. So I have to apologize in advance. Here we go. So I think I want to just jump right in. There is also definitely a class going on in the room. I don't even want to knock on the wall, so I might do a little less shouting, hopefully, which won't bother anybody, I don't think. So let me see. Let me get a little set up here, because I'm going to need. Oh, I should use iTerm. This would be a good day to use iTerm, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use my old-fashioned terminal. But I'm really going to need to use terminal for this. So I'm going to have terminal like as a thing over here that you can always see. Okay. Then I'm going to need our text editor, Adam. Our text editor. Oh, it's just the Snakes and Ladders project. How nice. Okay, so I'm going to make a folder called CircleCI test. Testing test. Testing test. Test. Testing test test. That's the name of my project. Oh, I can't do CD. I've got to make that directory. Make directory. Testing test test. Okay. CD. Testing test test. And then I want to open that in Atom and close the Snakes and Ladders game. Okay, I don't need any code in there. I need coding train GitHub, which is so small. Maybe I can just do this for right now. But the problem is I need to be able to see this button over here. That'll be fine. Then I've got this. The cameras are about to shut off. That one already did. Testing test test and Atom. Okay, so let's start with this open. All right. Cameras back on. And so I'm just going to, if you can barely believe this, what are we even like, am I signed into the right accounts? I'm being asked in the Slack channel. By the way, if you're wondering, the Slack channel is a channel for patrons of the Coding Train, where you can talk about anything you want and ask questions and get a little help. And oh, before I begin, let me thank a couple people. Let me thank Fun Function, MPJ. I did watch his videos about testing in CircleCI over the course of this week. Hopefully, I won't by accident just be repeating the things he says in a different voice. But his videos are awesome. I love his goofy like coffee shtick. I'm like, oh, I need some good coffee shtick. I mean, I've watched his videos before, but I think I've always just been watching them in bits and pieces. I was really watching them all the way through, and they're quite wonderful. Really nice approach. Lovely studio. Go and support. Go and get out of here right now and go and watch some videos from MPJ, perhaps about unit testing and continuous integration. Hopefully mine will be a little bit more basic, a little bit more even beginner friendly than what he's doing, which is kind of like is launching more into using it with like a more complex web app. All right, just a fork of Atom that has a train in the corner. What? 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 Coding train text editor, okay. All right, I'm just gonna check to see if this is a thing that I have to go do. Right now, it doesn't seem to be a thing. So I'm assuming I'm gonna be good till 11:30, okay, which is 45 minutes from now. All right. See, this is cold. This is not good. Wake up, audience. All right, here we go. Got a marker, got a tissue, I've got the Coding Train GitHub. I do want to be logged into my account. I think that's just going to make the most sense. All right, so this first tutorial I'm going to try to just explain unit testing and actually let me get a couple URLs open because I think this will be useful. Okay, so that's P5. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, great. Okay, I need that URL as well. Okay. Here we go. maybe it makes sense for me to have this here on my opening screen. Hello, welcome to a special tutorial thing on the coding train with me. I don't need to introduce myself. I mean, I probably should. But anyway, so I've been, over time, making lots of different... Let me just start this over. Already. No, this is terrible. Hello, welcome to a special tutorial on the coding train. So this tutorial is about, this series, I'm probably going to be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and eventually thousands of videos long about unit testing and continuous integration. And this tutorial series, these 3 videos, about 3 that I think I'm going to make, are sponsored by CircleCI, which is a company that provides a service called continuous integration. And you might be wondering, what is continuous integration? And hopefully after you watch these videos, you will think, what is continuous integration? So, and I should admit, and I should say this right at the outset, that the idea of continuous integration and really unit testing, while not completely new to me, is not something that's part of my practice or workflow, but it is something that I would like, I aspire to have more of in the future. And actually, I've been way off in my thinking that I've realized in learning and researching about this, that it was something that would get in the way of my development and making of projects in a kind of creative, rapid prototyping way. And in fact, it's something that I think can be so useful and make contributing to open source a friendlier and easier experience. Now, hopefully by the end of the videos I'm going to make, by the end I'm going to, well, I'll have proven, I don't know proven, but I'll have made the case for that. But let's see if we can do that. So what is, so before, let's, where am I going? Before I even talk about continuous integration, let's talk about something called unit. Very sad. Dried out marker. Let's talk about something called unit testing. And I would also recommend watching MPJ, Fun Function, has some great videos about these same topics. And MPJ says, which kind of clicked into my head, that unit testing, you can think of a piece of software as a bunch of separate units. Right? You've got this big complex idea, you need to break it into a lot of little parts, solve all those little parts, and unit testing, these units is the idea of testing each one of those parts to make sure they're working individually on their own. So that if you have a big code base and you change one thing here, but don't realize it's going to break this other unit, testing is a way of saying, I made this code, I can feel confident that everything is still working, that I haven't broken my code. So that's what unit testing is for, and in fact, unit testing is something that's used in a lot of open source libraries and projects. For example, probably the place where I first encountered unit testing and wrote my first unit tests is for the project P5JS itself. So this is the P5JS library. This is the repository for that I use in a lot of my, almost all of my coding challenges and tutorials. And one thing you'll notice here is that, look at this, there's this nice folder called source. So I don't want to get too off topic here, but what's interesting about P5, you might know P5, you might remember P5 as the library file called p5.js or p5.min.js. But if you're working on P5, you're not working on this giant library file. There's a build process. There's actually all these smaller source files, right? Folders with different JavaScript files that get bundled and packaged into the JavaScript library. So for example, if I look in this math folder here, and I look here under, if I say I'm going to look under random, pause, timeout. Oh, okay. Sorry, everybody. So I should have just started later because I had a feeling this was going to happen, but then I didn't want to lose all my time. So I unfortunately have to go, and I expect to be back in about 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe we'll just consider this practice. I'm going to come back to exactly where I was right now. So I will be right. I'm so sorry about this. This is like terrible that I'm actually doing something from sponsored content. So I'm really sorry about this. But this is just an important thing that I have to do. So I'm taking my microphone off. I am leaving the microphone here. And I'm going to hit stop on the live stream, and I will, if you can follow me on Twitter, @Schiffman, or I will also probably on this page, like, put a time up when I know when I'm getting back. But it's really just a phone call. I think I'll be back in 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, thank you, everybody. Yes, I know this is terrible. I'm so sorry. Okay, back soon, everybody.